Mark Carney has just touched down in Canberra, and the message to Washington couldn't be clearer. Canada has officially found its new orbit. While Donald Trump is embroiled in the smoke and fire of Operation Epic Fury in the Middle East, managing a volatile conflict that has already claimed the lives of 3 American service members, Mark Carney is quietly finalizing the blueprints for a new global power bloc in the heart of the Pacific. This isn't just the final leg of a trade mission. It is the definitive checkmate move in a grand strategy of structural independence. Carney isn't landing in Australia as a junior partner of the West. He is arriving as the strategic architect of a new trilateral alliance that links the massive consumer scale of India with the resource-rich security of Australia. He is telling the world that Canada no longer needs permission from D.C. to lead. Listen to the moment Carney set the tone for this historic arrival at the other end of the world, signaling a total shift in Canadian foreign policy.
Observe right at the start already thank Prime Minister Albanese and the Australian people for the warm welcome and affording us so much time for our important discussions.
Did you hear the confidence in his voice? While Washington acts unilaterally, leaving its closest allies in the dark about massive strikes in Iran, Carney is out in the open, building deep-seated partnerships with natural allies who share Canada's vision for a resilient future. He is branding this entire mission as the pivot to values-based realism. He's not passively waiting for the world he wishes to see. He is dealing with the world as it is. By securing agreements on critical minerals, artificial intelligence, and defense technology in Canberra, Carney is ensuring that Canada's economic lifeline is no longer tethered solely to the volatility of the White House. He is building a shield that encircles the Indo-Pacific, proving that when the United States chooses to go it alone, Canada is more than capable of leading its own coalition of the willing. Stay with us as we break down why this Canberra visit is the ultimate insurance policy against Trump's trade war. But as Carney was forging these new alliances, the world map was literally catching fire. While he was preparing for high-level talks in Canberra, the news broke. Operation Epic Fury, a massive, CIA-assisted decapitation strike by the United States and Israel, had just rocked Tehran, leaving 3 U.S. service members dead and the Middle East on the brink of a total conflagration. In that moment, the world didn't look to Ottawa for a polite press release. They looked to Mark Carney for a strategic verdict. And what he delivered was a masterclass in what he calls values-based realism. Carney didn't just offer a blank check of support for Donald Trump. Instead, he delivered a chillingly pragmatic assessment. He stood before the international press and expressed regret not for the strike itself, but for the total collapse of the international order that made such a unilateral move necessary. He signaled that Canada supports the objective of neutralizing Iran's nuclear threat. But he didn't hold back on calling out Washington and Israel for acting without consulting their closest allies, including Canada. Listen to how he framed this new, cold-blooded reality.
We do, however, take this position with regret because the current conflict is another example of the failure of the international order. Despite decades of UN Security Council resolutions, the tireless work of the International Atomic Energy Agency, and the succession of sanctions and diplomatic frameworks, Iran's nuclear threat remains.
The world as it is. That is the core of the Carney doctrine. He is refusing to play the old game of sunny ways diplomacy. He understands that the Iranian regime has been the principal source of terror for decades, murdering Canadian civilians and destabilizing the globe. But by calling out the lack of consultation, he is setting a firm boundary with Donald Trump. He is telling the White House, "We share your goals, but we are not your subordinates." This isn't just about Iran. It's about establishing Canada as an independent power that won't be bullied into silence. Carney is using this crisis to prove that Canada can navigate the most dangerous geopolitical waters with surgical precision, protecting our values while refusing to be a pawn in someone else's unilateral war. But while the fire rages in Tehran, Carney's real checkmate move was happening in the trade rooms of Mumbai and Canberra. Stay tuned as we break down the $70 billion axis that just changed everything. While Washington is preoccupied with the high-octane drama of regional wars, Mark Carney is engaged in a different kind of combat, a war for economic sovereignty. He has just walked out of Mumbai with a victory that effectively neuters Donald Trump's primary leverage, the threat of total dependence on the U.S. market. We are talking about the creation of an economic axis that stretches from the industrial heartlands of Canada to the high-tech hubs of Mumbai and the mining giants of Canberra. This is a strategic bypass of the American orbit. In India, Carney didn't just sign papers. He secured $5 billion in immediate commercial agreements. But that's just the down payment. The ultimate goal? Doubling two-way trade to over $70 billion by 2030. This isn't just diversification. It is a total structural pivot. And the crown jewel of this mission? The massive $2.6 billion uranium supply agreement between the government of India and Canada's Cameco. This is the ultimate insurance policy. Listen to how Carney frames Canada as the reliable supplier the world is begging for.
In India, we secured over $5 billion in commercial agreements that will deepen cooperation between Canadian and Indian businesses, attract investment into our communities, and help double two-way trade to over $70 billion by 2030. The Government of India and Cameco's $2.6 billion uranium supply agreement will support India's civil nuclear energy program and our shared commitment to clean, reliable.
Did you hear that? $70 billion. This is what we call the Carney Shield. By locking in India's civil nuclear energy program with Canadian uranium, Carney has created a decade-long economic bond that no tariff, no border tax, and no midnight tweet from Donald Trump can break. And now, he's taking that same surgical precision to Canberra. Carney has explicitly labeled Australia a natural partner. Why? Because they share the same DNA. They are resource-rich, high-tech, and currently looking for a way to navigate Washington's volatility. Carney is forging new partnerships in critical minerals, AI, and defense. He is building a global orbit where the U.S. is no longer the sole center of gravity. Canada is the hub of the Indo-Pacific alliance. He is proving that being a middle power isn't about being weak. It's about being the smartest, most agile player at the table. But how did he manage to walk this diplomatic tightrope while national security concerns were screaming in the background? That is the most shocking part of the story. Stay with us as we break down the trilateral checkmate. This is what we call the trilateral checkmate. It is the ultimate power play that Washington never saw coming. Mark Carney isn't just visiting Canberra to shake hands. He is completing a strategic loop that effectively sidelines Donald Trump's primary weapon, the threat of economic isolation. By forging this triple threat alliance between Canada, India, and Australia, Carney is creating a sovereign trade bloc that operates entirely outside of Washington's orbit. He is building a world where Canada doesn't just survive a trade war, we thrive in spite of it. The logic is undeniable. India provides the massive market scale. Australia provides the strategic security and critical mineral synergy. And Canada provides the high-tech energy and the leadership. Together, these three nations represent the new center of gravity in the Indo-Pacific. Carney is telling Trump, if you close the front door to the North American market, we have already opened the massive back door to the world's most explosive economies. Listen to how he defined this natural partnership on the ground in Canberra.
At Canberra. In the coming 2 days, we will focus on forging new partnerships in investment, defense, security, critical minerals, and artificial intelligence. Australia is a natural partner for Canada in these areas and many, many more, areas that will deliver enormous benefits to both our peoples. I very much look forward.
A natural partner. That phrase is a direct hit to the America First narrative. Carney is proving that the strongest bonds of the 21st century are built on shared strategic needs, not old guard dependencies. While the U.S. acts with unpredictability, Carney is building a coalition of reliability. By integrating Canada's AI and defense technology with Australia's security framework and India's industrial hunger, Carney has created a triangulation strategy that makes Trump's tariff threats irrelevant. This isn't just diversification, it is geopolitical architecture. Carney is creating a reality where Canada's future growth is no longer tethered to a single, volatile market. He is proving that being a middle power means having the most options. But how did he maintain this poker face while being grilled on the darkest secrets of national security? Stay with us as we break down the most intense moment of the press conference. But it wasn't all just handshakes and billion-dollar deals. Beneath the surface of these historic agreements lay the dark, unresolved shadows of national security. Mark Carney was forced to walk a razor-sharp tightrope as the international media grilled him on the most sensitive topic in Canadian diplomacy: Indian interference and the alleged state-sponsored assassination of a Canadian citizen. This was the ultimate stress test for his values-based realism. How do you shake the hand of a leader whose government is accused of violating your sovereignty? Carney's answer was a masterclass in what he calls vigilance and engagement. He didn't shy away from the questions, nor did he let them derail the momentum of the $70 billion axis. Instead, Carney projected a cold, disarming level of authority. He didn't offer a yes or no to the simplified demands of the reporters. He offered a structural solution. He revealed that he is tightening the legal framework, adding 1,000 new RCMP and border agents, and appointing a foreign interference commissioner. He is building the guardrails that allow Canada to trade with giants without being crushed by them. Listen to his unapologetic warning to the world.
Judgment. It's a product of the resources we're putting in. It's a product of the clarity of our position. We will not tolerate foreign interference, transnational repression by anyone. And I stress, by anyone. There's a wide range of countries who make these efforts from time to time. And we will call it out and we will engage with it in a way that is as effective as possible.
By anyone. That is a strategic thunderbolt. Carney didn't just name-check India. He sent a clear warning to China, Russia, and even the unpredictable allies south of the border. This is the core of the new Canadian security doctrine. He is trading the virtue signaling of the past for the hard power vigilance of the future. By refusing to prejudice the ongoing criminal procedures while simultaneously expanding defense and intelligence cooperation with New Delhi, Carney is proving that he can protect Canadian lives and Canadian interests at the same time. He is refusing to let a single incident paralyze the destiny of 41 million people. He is betting that the best way to ensure national security is through national strength, economic, technological, and military. He is making Canada too important to interfere with. This is the cold calculus of a leader who is taking the world as it is, ensuring that Canada is never again a victim of the geopolitical storms. But what does this mean for the final balance of power? We have the final verdict. Mark Carney has just rewritten the geopolitical map of the 21st century. From the boardrooms of Mumbai to the halls of Canberra, the message is undeniable. Canada has finally escaped the gravity of Washington. By forging a $70 billion axis with India and Australia, the Prime Minister has done what no leader before him dared. He has built a sovereign orbit that renders Donald Trump's tariff threats irrelevant. This is the triumph of values-based realism. We are no longer a satellite of the United States. We are the strategic center of a new, multipolar Indo-Pacific alliance. While the old world order collapses amidst the gunfire in Tehran, Canada is building a high-tech, high-energy future that no longer requires permission from the White House. We are no longer waiting for a world we wish to see. We are architecting the world as it is. If you want the sharpest analysis of the power plays defining our future, you are in the right place. Subscribe to Canada Insider, hit that notification bell, and stay ahead of every shift. And now, I want to hear from you. Is this the greatest strategic move in Canadian history? Let me know in the comments with the phrase Carney, the Indo-Pacific architect. Thank you for watching Canada Insider. Stay informed, stay proud, and stay strong. Canada is leading the way.